Good evening, guys. Allow me a few seconds to set up the screen and share the screen. Good evening, guys. Allow me a few seconds to set up. Good evening again. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining this session. Today, we are going to discuss one important concept which is relevant to purchasing professionals. Hope few of you should be aware about should cost model, should cost analysis, which is used in the analysis of any purchased item. So let us briefly see about some details about this model and where this is being used. Is it applicable for you? Such detail we will see in this program. Before that, let me make a brief introduction about me. My name is Pattabhi Raman. This is my LinkedIn profile. As far as my background is concerned, I am an engineer with a PG degree in management and data science. I have nearly 2.5 decades working experience in this large multinational organization. I have been working in various subdomain in the supply chain management during my career at various levels. Last 10 years in my career, I have been heading the supply chain management. Currently, I am heading the current organization known as Thoughtware Training. Regarding my certification, you should be aware of the certification if you are a supply chain and purchasing professional. These are from Apex, globally recognized certification for core supply chain management, and similar one from Demand Driven Institute. They provide similar certification for supply chain management. I am also a certified purchasing manager from Institute of Supply Management. Now this is replaced with the CPSM, Certified Professional in Supply Management, and I am also a project management professional apart from qualified in analytics. Coming to our organization, this is based in Bangalore, 4-year-old organization. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain, purchasing, logistic, and allied domains. So, what it is, I hope there are a lot of people participating in LinkedIn Live. Hope you are able to hear me and see the screen. Can you please comment on the LinkedIn comment? Do any one of you know what is should cost? Have you heard about this? Possibly you should be knowing if you are working in the purchasing profession. Can anyone comment? Those who know about this, you can also comment if you don't know. I am able to access LinkedIn comments. Yes, Rohit. Thanks for feedback. Are you from a purchasing department? Are you aware about should cost? Mathur, are you from a purchasing domain? Are you aware of this should cost? Or anyone else in the participants? Preferably, if you are in purchasing or procurement or sourcing domain, you may be aware of it. If someone is aware, can you please comment in the LinkedIn? What does it mean? Okay, Manoj Kumar Sharma is giving a feedback. Should cost is a self calculated cost of component including all facts, estimated product price. Okay, good. We will see how this estimate is being done, because many organizations traditionally we have been doing in a different way. For most of the item, the traditional way is at least get quotation from multiple vendor, possibly four or five quotation, and start negotiating who are giving the best lowest price. We used to make a order, but there we are really not sure about the actual cost of the product. It can be a component or a product, but usually we do should cost analysis for expensive item, because these are laborious process involving lot of data collection and analysis, and it may not be possible in all the situation. Okay, so I have seen many of the industry, maybe possibly 80 to 90% of the industry, they take a quotation, compare the best price, and further negotiate on the quote and place a order. But that doesn't give a realistic price of any product. Okay, in any organization there are a lot of material being outsourced. It could be anywhere between 50 to 70% if it's a manufacturing organization. Maybe we are purchasing raw material, we are taking capital goods purchase. Okay, very few of them analyze what is the cost. Maybe some of you answered estimating the cost. Can anyone explain how you are estimating the cost of the product? For example, if you are taking one product, maybe a simple drilling machine, or it could be even a refrigerator, how do you estimate the price of the product? Can anyone type in the comment? How do you calculate? Apart from taking the quotation from vendors, assume that you are going to take a refrigerator. You can even consider a normal refrigerator. Assume we are talking about 200 liters refrigerator. How do you estimate the cost of this product? Rohit says processes wise. I just want to know, how do you estimate? Now, traditionally, we have been taking quotation from multiple vendors. Even online, what we do is when you search for a product, it gives a comparison between various product, but really we don't know what is the actual price of the product. So, how do you estimate the actual price of the product? Yes, Manoj Kumar Sharma, that's correct. We have to go through complete bomb of items. Exactly correct. So, if you are purchasing a refrigerator, for example, you should know what are the major components. Okay, possibly it requires compressor, maybe copper tubing. There are some fabrication item, wiring, all that required. And you should also know individual specification of this item, and what are the prices from the respective manufacturer to arrive at a rough price. Okay, when you see item, this should be the price. You should come to that conclusion. That's where we are talking about should cost. You should estimate any item which you are processing. You should have a knowledge estimate even before you ask for a quotation. But most problem you can get is, where do you get this bomb? This is not your property, it is vendor's property. How do you get bomb from vendor? How you know? Maybe Mathur is also answering. Basic raw material cost in the market, including all item available in the bomb and the profit margin. It's 100% true. But I would like to know where you will get the bomb. How the vendor will share you? Maybe the refrigerator you are every day using it, but assume some very expensive special purpose machine or goods. You are ordering a furnace or a petrol processing plant worth about 100 crores. How do you get the bill of material even before you get the quotation? Any idea? Will the supplier provide the details even before you start asking him the quotation? What is your idea? How we can develop the bomb of material? Okay, Manoj Kumar says in case of machine, it's really a challenge to get a quote. So that could be a reason why we are avoiding it, because when we ask the supplier, he may not give, and maybe possible from your inside we do not have resources, possibly in terms of design engineers who knows what goes into the product, what are those makes. It may not be available, so many times we are bypassing due to that reason, that possibly supplier is not providing or we do not have that expertise. But for a very expensive product you cannot avoid such a type of a problem estimating the cost of the item. So there is a well defined method. Should costing tells what you have to do and what reference you can take in getting the estimate of the item. In fact, there are a lot of benefits, because generally when you take a quotation from the vendor, he knows that you are going to negotiate. So he is having going to have a margin, and from there we are going to start. And we never know in any case whether we are talking a realistic price or no, is not at all clear. But when you have a estimate here also, possibly you can do with 90 or 90%, 95% accuracy. More than that may not be possible, but still we can attempt in getting it. If you see the origin, actually this practice is there for a very long back, from 1960s, especially US military was using, especially when they have a lot of private vendors who develop expensive weapon systems. Okay, they have found out that the cost given by the vendor is not realistic. Though they were spending millions, billions of dollars, they were not getting the necessary saving. So they have started this process long back. In fact, this process involves six different phases. Here you have to see that we are talking for a expensive item, maybe running into billions of dollar, and you cannot use it for a simple low cost item. Possibly in Indian currency, you can talk for a project which is costing say more than 10 crores or 20 crores, or even it could be a component when you are having a annual commitment of say 10 crore 50 crore worth purchases, then you can undertake this process. And this involves a cooperation or collaboration with the vendor. Without having collaboration, it is not possible. Maybe supplier will also cooperate if he is eyeing for such a big business and continuous business, he may also support. So in that cases you will have six phases. First phase is occurs at the supplier location. In fact, even before you take a quote, you visit the supplier, you analyze the process, you find out what is happening, what are the costs involved. Possibly there will be lot of resistance at each of the stages, but still this process happens, especially for a large expensive item. Supplier has to coordinate. Then finally you are going to make some estimate of what are the numbers, and come to a conclusion which you may use it in the phase 5 or 6 to negotiate with the vendor. But all these phases can happen over several months. So you have to see the data collection is very tedious and also requires cooperation with the vendor. And if it is possible, then we need to do analysis and come to a estimation. Of course, you need to know some additional methods how we can do it. We will briefly see what are those methods in the coming slides. But Japanese are successful in using this methods called Kreitsu, which means tightly knit group of interrelated companies. They are very good in supplier development, collaboration, alliance. They are very good. That could be one of the reason where they are successful in implementing lean and JIT. And same concept can be used when you develop the pricing, especially for continuous supply or expensive purchase of any item. The first step is having a collaboration with your vendors, without which it is not possible. And whenever you want to take this approach, you need a support from your management. Okay, top management has to support, because this involves a lot of work, so effort is involved. Cooperation from the vendor is required, so management should approve this process. Okay, they should also understand. So possibly many of you are aware about Kraljic supply matrix. Here, this will help in selecting suitable type of supplier or material, where we can use this process, should cost process. Basically the materials are classified based on both supply risk and cost impact. Accordingly, we classify them either as a strategic item or bottleneck item, non-critical item, and leverage item. Possibly a cost, here we are looking is a high cost item, but still you can classify if it is a component based on this criteria. And of course, the leverage item offers a big potential, because we have many suppliers supplying this item. So possibly this is the area where we can start should cost analysis. The other two areas we can try depending upon the situation, either for bottleneck or non-critical item. But strategic item needs a different approach, because this is not immediately prone for this type of improvement. Okay, coming to the cost breakup, most of you are aware about how do we prepare a profit and loss account, and also how the cost of goods is arrived. Here we are going to consider direct material, direct labor, indirect cost. So whenever you are trying to buy some expensive item, you need to estimate in terms of these three important factor. Okay, direct material, you should know what kind of material, how much weight, who are their suppliers, and how much time it requires, what are the skills required to make that component or a product. Then possibly you are going to add some overheads to that to get the cost of goods sold. Then subsequently you may be adding some additional expenses like administrative, sales, R&D, and profit. Then finally you are going to get it some price. But how much is the tds work is this. Okay, even for your own organization, you need cooperation from various function to do this type of estimation. But of course, when you are talking about a huge investment, possibly supplier will cooperate, and you should be in a position to get this prices. Normally we can do this estimation either by using this type of financial information, or using the manufacturing information. Normally this manufacturing cost, we do this what you have seen in the profit and loss statement, like material cost, labor cost, we are going to add that cost. But the challenge is, where do you get these items, where do you get this item becomes important. Then financial should cost. Actually, in US they have a well developed system. There is something called NAICS, which means North American Industrial Classification System. You can enter any product, you will get a code, and this code you can use it in the internet. like that, what is shown in the screen. There you will get different ratios, financial ratios, like for a particular product code, what can be the ratio of costs to the total, or it could be in even individual material cost or labor cost. So in US, actually the details are available either for free of cost or based on some information. So you need so two information. One is based on your estimation of all the material cost. Another one is by using this type of codification, you may get some relevant information from the public domain, either based on some amount cost, or it may be available free of cost. I'm not sure this type of facility is available in India, because we have not codified everything to shoot it. But if you have time, please visit the site. It has very elaborate, and they have also given some reference where you can get some reference of financial ratio for a particular product, so that you can use it for estimation. Okay, of course there you may have a different labor prices, so it is always better to refer the labor prices in the local market. Of course, in your organization finance or costing department, they will have the labor price depending upon the skill set or the operation being performed. Each of the operation, for example, if we take grinding, I know the cost per hour what we are going to use in the calculation is readily available. So most of the operation it is available either from internal sources, or you may have to get it from the public domain. So any one of the participant using any similar information in arriving at the estimated price? Sahil, meanwhile, is asking a question. Can we take RFI before quotation? Yes, RFI is only request for information, but you are going to not going to get any much support at that stage. Okay, once again, you have to see what kind of a cost of item we are talking, and you should have a better relationship with the vendor. And when you are talking about first time purchase, then only you will ask for RFI. Otherwise, it's not much relevant. Any of the participants who are in purchasing, are you doing this type of analysis, like what we are talking, manufacturing cost, or using this type of NACS coding and finding out from the public domain what could be the different financial ratios, and then compare with the cost and come to a more accurate way of cost calculating any product? In fact, this particular site provides all necessary information to arrive at a better price. Maybe possible, if you are guys in the purchasing department, you can do some investigation on should cost. There are a lot of information available. This always helps you in getting a better estimate. Also, it fixes the price for negotiation. Okay, normally you should have an idea when you're talking about any purchase. You should roughly know this should be the cost for this item, this should be the cost for this item. Then supplier will also know that you know the price, you know the estimation, then accordingly you will get a better price, and that is where you can start your negotiation. Okay, maybe you can also watch in our website. I am coming out with a 2 hours program on this should cost program. Possibly you will get some more idea on that, but this is a ocean. Okay, you need a lot of research support from your management, support from your vendor, so that you can do. But if you are persistent, able to do this process, you will definitely become successful, and you can differentiate yourself among others. With this, I want to conclude. If you have any doubts or clarification, you can always type in the LinkedIn comment. As usual, I am commenting for the professionals who are in purchasing. You need some certification if you are looking for a good or a better job. Go in for some global certification for purchasing. The one from CPSM, from ISM is relevant, or there is one more organization called SIPS, which is a UK based organization. They provide excellent content which are not taught in any of the colleges. So you can have such a skill development. Also, please be proficient in any analytical aspect, because when you are doing comparison using a big database, importing the item, and your purchase involves hundreds of components, then you need some analytical tools. Possibly, I hope all of you have the ERP knowledge. And you need any support from me or our organization, you are always welcome to reach to us. Either you can visit this site or reach through this WhatsApp number. I am available for any consultation, career guidance, or any support required. So I am available for next couple of minutes. Any doubts, clarification from the participant? Do you like this brief short program? Mathur is asking for supply chain. As I have shown in my profile, the certification for supply chain is from APIX. It is a globally recognized APCIS, or now it is renamed as ASCM, Association for Supply Chain Management. That's globally number one company. Don't go for any local certification, nor undertake any training from person who is not certified by APIX. In fact, it is becoming more relevant, mandatory, essential in Indian job market. Many a time they ask whether do you have APIX certification. If you need any further clarification, Mathur, you can always reach to me using this WhatsApp number. I can guide you. In fact, I am trainer for such a global certification programs. Any doubts or clarification? Do you like this type of short introductory program? Thanks for attending the program. Have a nice evening. We will see in the next session. Bye.